Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Burger. So another dual cart has been announced that's going to be released Christmas time 2023 on Evercade. We've got two games, I think they're from the same company and I think one's actually a sequel of the other, Demons of Asteborg and Astebro, which are kind of similar sort of platform slashing games with a little bit of adventure chucked in from 16-bit style games. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Okay, so let's have a look at the two games here. And these are probably games that have been much requested on a lot of the sort of Evercade forums out there and Facebook and as the like. There's been a lot of people requesting these games. I had actually covered Demons of Asteborg a few months back and I played it on the Steam Deck and it was really quite good. It does get pretty hard right enough. Astebros is a first time playing this one for me. Just a sort of disclaimer, I'm playing these games, both of them on the Steam version. I don't think they'll differ too much for Evercade, to be honest. They are pretty much styled in a 16-bit style, and so obviously it looks a bit like a Mega Drive game, I believe. The second game, Astebros, certainly differs a little bit, whereas you can play two-player games, you can choose from 3 playable characters, and it certainly has a little bit of a different style to Demons of Asteborg. But without further ado, guys, we'll get stuck into playing these games. I'll give you my thoughts on what I think of these two games at the end of the video as well. Anyway, guys, let's get started. Okay guys, so starting with Demons of Asteborg, this one certainly reminds me a little bit like Cathedral, just in a lot of ways, because it's obviously got the same sort of game mechanics, the sort of jumping, double jumping, the swords and stuff. I think this is definitely my favourite game of the two. It's got a fairly long intro here, so if you want to jump past this, I'll add a chapter so you can maybe jump to the actual gameplay. But I actually quite like this game. It is pretty hard and sometimes gets a little bit frustrating, because once you die you might get pushed back quite far, but you can choose your difficulty at the start. I think you can choose easy if you really want to, but I chose normal to start the game. And it is quite enjoyable. I'm not sure how long the actual game is, but I suspect, given the fact that it's on this dual cart, it's probably a fairly lengthy game that will take a few hours to actually complete. I guess if you played Cathedral, that's quite a long game, but it is rock solid hard. I'm not sure that this game is as hard as Cathedral is, but it certainly is quite tricky at times, and I quite enjoy it. And I'll sort of leave the footage in here. You can watch the gameplay and see what you think and see if it's your type of thing. But yep, it's pretty good. It's very much like the sort of Shovel Knight thing and Cathedral. And interesting, I think we're getting some good value here. That these games cost about 15, 16 quid or $15 or so on Steam. So you're getting some really good value for money here by getting this dual cart, and it's a physical version as well. Okay, so on to the sequel, which is Astebros, and it's a little bit different to Demons of Asteborg. I'm not sure I like this as much as the other game, but it's certainly different given the fact that you can choose from 3 characters and you can change between the characters at any point in the actual game. I found the actual game structure a little bit strange, and you'll sort of see that when we're going through the sort of gameplay. Some of the levels, I think, in fact, the levels themselves are randomly generated at times, so you could go into the level and then come back to it at some other point and it'll be completely different. I'm finding it pretty confusing to play at first and don't really get it. So the idea is to try and rescue some of the sort of prisoners within these sort of levels. But it's very strange and it is pretty hard at times. I'm not really sure which character is the best to actually play the game with. I obviously start with the sort of knight and then through the sort of gameplay I'll go through all the sort of characters. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I've heard good things about it, but personally I'm not really that fussed with it. I'm not saying it's a bad game, I just found it a bit frustrating, a little bit, yeah, a bit tough. And the sort of game structure was really odd given the fact that the levels were a bit randomly generated. I definitely preferred the other game, it just seems more straightforward to actually play. But yeah, it's a nice enough game. I think there'll be people out there that will absolutely love these games, and I think there'll be people out here who are really not that bothered. I mean, if you didn't really like Cathedral, then I really doubt you're going to like any of these games at all. Okay, guys, so that's the two games played. Now, I like the first game. I think Demons of Asteborg is actually really good, but pretty tricky at times. Astebros, I'm not entirely sure yet. I think I need to give it more playtime, but it really didn't grab me as much as the other game. Let me know, guys, what you think of these games. Are you going to pick up these carts? I think there'll be people that probably won't, and I think somewhere in between, whether you're going to love them or not. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.